Welcome back to 360 Sports. This week, we have a special edition as we're going to do coast-to-coast coverage around different cities around the USA. Today, we're shipping up to Boston. I'm with Jacob, Alec, Emily, Peyton. Let's get right into it. Well, we almost saw the New England Patriots restart another dynasty, but it fell short to the Seahawks. Do we think that this team, this is like a foreshadow to years to come, will they stay in the Super Bowl, or is it just like a one-and-done situation?
Well, I don't know if it's a Brady Belichick deal because I don't think that's ever going to be replicated. But I like the Patriots' future. I like Mike Vrabel as a head coach. Thank you to the Tennessee Titans for just letting him walk for nothing. Patriots got a good future. They need a wide receiver. They need an offensive line. But yeah, they'll be back in the playoffs next year for sure. I don't know about division champions with that first place schedule they're going to have, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule does look really tough, and the Patriots all season long really got discredited for how bad their schedule was the entire regular season. I mean, faced the entire NFC South, faced a lot of other bad teams, et cetera. You get the point. But I think we really showed that when we got to the playoffs, our defense was really special. Milton Williams just right there in the heart of it. We didn't allow any rusher to get over 50 yards before week 8. So it just really shows how impressive we were on the defense side of the ball. Now the offense, obviously, Drake May, second MVP. That was incredible. Didn't really perform as well as we wanted to in the playoffs. Faced so many just really good edge rushers total in the playoffs. But I think once this team gets a little bit more just time wrapped up in what they're going for with Will Campbell, Drake May, and Mike Vrabel, it's still such a young core. But obviously, there's two ways you can go. You're the Bengals max or you're Chiefs max. You don't want to go the Bengals route. You want to just be able to find that good, solid, strong play, not just in your quarterback, but everywhere else, like you said, with receivers too. Stephon Diggs was really good this year, but obviously you want like a true star number one. So hopefully in free agency, with all that money, we can go and find one.
Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill would be an awesome one. Just got cut today.
I have mixed opinions. I think that the Patriots did play a really good game at the Super Bowl, but there was a lot of sacks to Drake May that probably should have been avoided completely as a whole. I think that was the most Super Bowl game, or the most number of sacks in a Super Bowl game, which is kind of crazy and a little embarrassing for both teams. But I think Drake May showed that he can move the ball on the biggest stage in the NFL. And, he's young still. He made some rookie mistakes. I think he was kind of feeling the pressure of being in the Super Bowl, and I think that caused him to not read the field as well as he could have. But, again, that's something that is pretty easily fixed. I mean, their whole loss was largely about turnovers and late executions. So I think if you can clean that up, then I think they definitely have a chance of maybe going to the Super Bowl again. But I do think that it is nice that they're all young and you have a lot of fresh blood, which gives them room to grow. And hopefully we'll cut down on some of the rookie mistakes. But yeah.
I mean, it's a good point on the rookie mistakes. You had like Will Campbell and Jared Wilson on that offensive line, and they did not have a good Super Bowl at all. But yeah, I mean, those two in May definitely, I think will be better in the future.
Yeah, Alec, of course, I can't go anywhere without any Bengals shade. You threw out the one-and-done situation, but I was doing some research. I think the Patriots have 6 Super Bowl wins and 6 Super Bowl losses. I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that they have 6 wins or the fact that they've been to the dance 12 times. I mean, this team, it's built for success. I'm not worried about Will Campbell going in the next year. I know people want to bring up his arm length. It's like he's been playing his whole career like that. He's going to be fine. This Patriots team's not going anywhere. They're only going to get better. Vrabel is a great coach. So, yeah, let's move on to another sport where, Boston has more rings, and it's the Boston Celtics. The last championship they won was in 2024. They have 18 team championships. And we all know now Jason Tatum is coming back shortly, I believe. Do you think the Boston Celtics can win 2 championships in the span of 3 years, or are they closed?
I think that the question isn't necessarily if they're contenders or if they can, finish the job again. I think we see them making a lot of good plays, but also they do have their moments of their mistakes. Obviously, Tatum is a top-tier player, so I think that he does impact scoring, playmaking, and rebounds a lot, but I don't necessarily think that he is like the make it or break it for the Celtics. They've obviously proved that they can get this far without him, and I do think that his presence immediately raises Boston's offensive ceiling and just their presence as offense when they're on offense. But I think that with Tatum being back, they definitely have a better chance of claiming another title.
I mean, it's certainly anybody's title. I mean, we all thought start of the season, October, November, that the Thunder were just going to run away with it and only lose to the San Antonio Spurs and nobody else. But they've sort of fallen off a little bit. The Celtics, they are holding on to that number 2 seed over a couple of others. The Cavs, the Knicks, I believe, are in that mix. Be interesting to see if they can catch the Pistons for that number 1. But yeah, I certainly think Boston they have the talent, and more importantly, they have the playoff experience to win another championship. And that goes a long way in the NBA.
I think what's just big with the Celtics team is that they've been able to do so well without Jason Tatum. I mean, we look back at 2018, the same thing happened. Gordon Hayward and Kyrie both went down, and the Celtics still just found a way to win games. That was with actually Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum at a really young age. And I think what's so special about this team is you kind of see the same stuff going on. Jordan Wall stepped up out of nowhere. Hugo Gonzalez stepped out of nowhere. Neemias Queta stepped out of nowhere. If you ask anybody about those 3 players just randomly on the streets, you wouldn't know who they were. But now they're huge contributors for the Celtics team. And we look at all the stats too. Jaylen Brown's almost averaging 30 points a game. Derek White's playing some of the best defense as a guard. And he's giving you 6 assists and 17 points on top of that too. Pritchard now on the bench, 17 a game as well. So there is room for Tatum to come into this team. Right now, Baylor Shireman, he has been our starting shooting guard. I expect Jaylen Brown, once he comes back, to move down to that shooting guard spot. Tatum slots into the small forward spot. And that just opens up so much for this team. The depth is going to be incredible. We'll be able to switch everything. So many incredible, talented wing defenders, I think, is going to really help this team too. And then we look at the Celtics as just a whole. This team is really built for playoff basketball. And the reason I'm saying that is because we just do a lot of the nuanced things in basketball that really just win you games. Offensive rebounding, we're at the top. Scoring points, we're at the top. 3-point shooting, we are the top team. So I think when you look at it like that for the Celtics, when you add a player like Jason Tatum, he's not really someone that's going to come into the mix and take away shots from people that should be having those shots in the first place. And then we look at the defensive side, he can guard almost every 1 through 5 in the entire game right now. So when you look at it from that perspective too, I don't see why this team can't come out of the East with or without Tatum. But then we look at the West, you have the Thunder still, but they're injured right now. And you have the Nuggets, who are making a huge resurgence. I think it's going to be really hard for the Celtics to repeat this year. However, I think in a year or two from now, with how much the Celtics have been doing, just farming out their system this year, waiting for Tatum to come back and letting Jaylen Brown do whatever he wants, I think has been so crucial for this team, not just right now, but in the long run.
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm happy you brought up like people contributing without Jason Tatum, because people forget that Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP when they won it in 2024. And I think that's going to add fuel to the fire when Tatum comes back, because I still think in his mind, he has something that he wants to prove. I mean, he's been the heart and soul of this team since he's been drafted. He's been overlooked since Kyrie Irving, and now he's overlooked for Jaylen Brown winning the Finals MVP. When he gets back, I think he's going to play for something. And you brought up teams from the West. I think the Spurs, honestly, have a great chance too. I know, like the Nuggets, the Thunder, of course, they just won it, but this playoff season is going to be incredible for NBA to come.
I think if you look at like the Celtics as a whole, there's just so much chemistry and talent on the team that I feel like they really work together. And I think that gives them a big advantage on all the other teams. I think their communication as a team is really well, which helps on the court, but also off the court with like players getting injured and then players coming back. Like they're really good at making those transitions very easily, like between players leaving and players coming back. Like there's never really any tension when anybody leaves or comes back. And they have such like a strong history and presence in the NBA that I feel like a lot's possible. And I feel like we're still so early in the season that we could see them like.
Yeah, I definitely think this team will be back at it. I mean, I think they're the team to beat in the Eastern Conference when Tatum comes back. I know the Knicks are pretty good, but for right now, I think I still have to give it to the Celtics. Let's move on to baseball and hockey, the final 2 teams in Boston. The last time these 2 teams have won their respective championships was the Red Sox in 2018 and the Bruins in 2011. Who do we think is going to get there first, and like how do we think they're going to do it?
Well, I think it's going to be the Red Sox just because their core is further developed. I think you've got Roman Anthony. I really like their offseason. I think they took a step forward in the pitching rotation with Ranger Suarez and Sonny Gray. You're going to have a full season of Roman Anthony, as I said. You've got other guys. You got Marcel Marks, Ceddanne Rafaela. The thing I see holding them back is they play in a tough division in the American League East with the Blue Jays and the Yankees. As for the Bruins, I've really liked the 2026 side of this season. They've been they have one of the top records in the NHL post New Year's Day. I don't know if it's certainly encouraging to see, because this was not a season where they were expected to compete, and they certainly are competing. They're not holding onto a spot in that Atlantic division, but that is a tough division. It's the toughest division in hockey right now. And certainly in the NHL, there's no guarantees. I mean, the St. Louis Blues had the 5th worst record on New Year's Day and won the Stanley Cup in 2019. So,
I mean, yeah, just going off that. I mean, I love what the Bruins I don't really love what the Bruins are doing. I mean, we sold off a lot of our cast last year, and I thought that was going to be the end all be all. But hey, we have the number 1 wild card spot right now, so that's not awful. And then speaking of wild card, that is where the Red Sox ended off last season in October. I thought we had a really strong season, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of downs at the beginning of the year. Sold off Rafael Devers for practically nothing, literally nothing at this point. And so when going off that, obviously it doesn't look great, but there's just so much promising talent. Roman Anthony looks incredible. Cedar Rafael has been doing it all in the infield and the outfield too. Marcelo Meyer is going to be coming back soon as well. I think that's huge for us. And just the Red Sox as a whole, they've always just found ways to win baseball games. I think that's been just a staple of who they are as an organization. I mean, look at 2018, they won it all. The team completely fell apart, and they somehow found a way to build themselves up to get to the ALCS and lose a very competitive series to a dominant Houston Astros team. And that 2021 Red Sox team looks nothing like it does 5 years from now, and still you're getting that same impact of getting to the playoffs, having some strong points. So I think just from that standpoint, the Red Sox will just find a way to win baseball games, as they always have.
That's a great point about the Red Sox. I mean, this is a team that you can never count out. This is a team that's won 4 championships this century under 3 different general managers, 3 different field managers. I mean, yeah, they just keep coming back. They are one of the greatest teams in baseball this century.
So I'm going to disagree. I think the Bruins are going to be the first to win a championship. I think that the NHL's playoff format really allows for experienced, well-coached teams to surge at the right time, and it kind of allows more space for your underdogs to kind of come up out of nowhere. And the Bruins are typically closer to contention year after year. Obviously, they haven't got one longer than the Red Sox, but I do think that even after moving on from the legends, Bergeron, Chara, they've remained competitive because of their structure, goaltending, and defensive identity. Hockey playoffs can also be unpredictable. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy changes throughout hockey. And if your goalie is hot and on fire, then it can kind of make a team really it'll make or break a team. So if your goalie's doing really good, then I think it just switches everything really quickly. So I think just NHL's format as a whole is what kind of gives the Bruins a better chance of getting that championship title first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to – I hate to say this. I'm going to have to go with the Red Sox. I think they have the second best pitcher in the American League in Garrett Crochet. Until he can get that Cy Young over Skubal, I think Skubal is better. Sonny Gray is a phenomenal number 2 option. I mean, this guy just eats innings. And, of course, I have to mention Roman Anthony and the big 3. Whenever Marcelo Mayer gets back, Roman Anthony, he's playing for the World Baseball Classic. I can't wait to see him. And hopefully Christian Campbell they can keep that three-headed monster united. This team's going to be very scary. They traded for, I believe, Wilson Contreras. I don't know if it was him or William. I forget.
Wilson.
It was
Yeah.
Wilson Contreras. Yeah, that was a great addition. And they're in a tough division. I get that, but all they need is a chance to get in. I mean, you saw that 2021 team. Nobody thought anything of it, and then they lost in the CS and to the Astros. So I'm gonna have to go with the Red Sox for now. They're both in a playoff drought or a championship drought, so we're gonna have to see. But moving on, we're gonna go to the board and talk about Boston players that we think represented Boston the most. So, Emily, I believe you're up first.
I am, yes. So, my Mr. Boston pick is Bill Russell. He played for the Celtics. His performance overall, just throughout the games, automatically puts him ahead in my books. I mean, he took the Celtics to 11 NBA championships in 13 seasons, which is absolutely crazy. And then he became a coach for the Celtics. But I think what really stuck to me was his work outside of sports. He marched in civil rights movements. He supported figures like Martin Luther King Jr. So I feel like he left a permanent mark on the Boston community as a whole, which really is what made him stand out to me. So Bill Russell is my Mr. Boston pick.
I feel like Bill Russell really set like the platform for how Boston sports should go and how they should run. Winning is really what it matters in the city. It's what everyone talks about. And Bill Russell just setting that foundation, winning 11 championships. I believe he won 8 in a row as well at one point. Really just set the tone for everything to come forward. Red Auerbach put that whole team together too. It's a lot of great people from that time. So thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, you mentioned winning 11 rings. When you think of when he played basketball, it was Boston and LA, and he won most of those matchups. So, all right, Alec, I think you're next.
So for my Mr. Boston pick, I'm going with another Boston Celtic, the very own great Larry Bird, number 33 and all. I mean, what did Larry Bird not do? 3-time MVP, 3-time champion, 2-time finals MVP, lost one to Cedric Maxwell. It happens. But just look at that man. He did all the dirty work, laid his body out there every single night, passed the ball to his teammates, shot the ball incredibly well, really set the embodiment for what it means to be a true modern forward in today's game. Shot the 3-ball really well, rebounded really well also on top of that, and played defense. So Larry Bird was just really a true staple of what it meant to be a Boston Celtic, fought hard every single possession, fought for every single rebound, threw his body on the floor too, won a bunch of championships as well. So I don't know how you can't go with Larry Bird, just to really embody what it means to put on that green jersey. And I mean, just what a guy he is overall. I mean, I love watching Larry Bird, just highlights growing up on YouTube, just seeing that whole team with Parrish, McHale, Ainge, and Johnson, that Fab Five as it stood. I mean, the amount of battles he had with Magic Johnson, they practically saved the NBA. So what a guy overall.
It's a good pick. I got a bit of a history lesson. I got a bit of a history lesson for the people at home. For my Mr. Boston is Brad Marchand. And the reason I picked Brad Marchand is because if you go back to the origins of this great city and the American Revolution, think about stuff like the Boston Tea Party, the refusal of authority, the never say die attitude. I think Brad Marchand is a player who encapsulates that perfectly. He's a scrappy guy. I mean, Boston's got no shortage of scrappy guys. I was having a tough time picking between him, Dustin Pedroia, Julian Edelman. But yeah, you've got like Brad Marchand. I think if guy like Samuel Adams was alive today, he'd be a big Brad Marchand fan, and it is a tragedy that he will retire as a Florida Panther and not a Boston Bruin.
Yeah, you mentioned a bunch of grit that Boston has. Edelman and Pedroia were great pulls, of course. Marchand, of course, he's a great player for the Bruins. So, all right, guess I'm up now, and the person I'm going to pick is none other than Big Papi himself. We all know what he's done on the field. 541 home runs, 55 career WAR, 3 World Series, and 17 stolen bags. So he has some wheels to him. But I want to highlight what he did off the field as well. He's one of the best Boston icons. On April 20th, 2013, the first home game since the Boston bombing, he had a speech before the game. And I believe this quote was, "This jersey that I'm wearing today, it doesn't say Red Sox, it says Boston." And I think it just capitalizes how much his community was, revolving around Big Papi and how much he meant to the city of Boston. And I just think that was a very special moment for a city that was going through quite a tough time. So
That's a good pick.
And that was an all-time. I think that was an all-time Boston sports moment when he had that grand slam in the playoffs against Detroit.
yeah, it was it was a great home run, of course.
Iconic moment, iconic call, even iconic scenery with the Austin Jackson falling into the dugout. You got the cop
You see
with
the
his
cop
hands raised.
celebrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, of course, clutch hitter, but his impact in the Boston community as a whole was very big, especially from that moment. So moving on, we're going to blind rank Boston sports moments, and yeah, I'm kind of intrigued what we're going to see here.
Yeah.
So Okay, of course, this
Okay.
is what I was just talking about.
Big Poppy's speech.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very, very great for the city of Boston at a time that needed some, uplifting. And of course, they went on to win the World Series that year.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's
Yeah.
got to be like.
It's gonna be 2.
It's in the- it's
in the
top
feel
three, I agree.
weird
Yeah.
putting I don't want to do the number 1 right away. Like I think number 2 would be
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I think 2 is a great
2.
spot for this.
do with 2.
I agree.
This is,
Alright.
The 2008 championship.
yeah.
That was a good one. KG's Anything is Possible.
When
Yeah.
Jason Tatum recreated that a couple of years ago.
First Celtics
We did it.
championship in 18 years.
I don't.
Sorry, 22 years, not 18.
I don't think it's number 1 worthy yet.
No, it's not.
So
I
maybe
would
the
say
3?
But
number-
maybe 3 or 4.
I can say
I'm gonna say
3.
4. I want to
We'll
be.
do
I want to
4.
be a little safe. I want to do 4.
All right.
I'm fine with 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do
Great
4.
championship, though.
Oh,
Oh,
see,
20
this
to
is
3.
why. This is why I was saving number 3. It's why I was saving the higher spot.
I wouldn't be mad at putting this at 1. I mean,
That might be the one.
in my opinion, I think this is probably
Yeah.
the greatest Super Bowl of all time. 28-3. We know the story.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
ever Super Bowl at that time to go into overtime until the Chiefs
Yeah.
and Niners won a few years ago.
And I think this is 22 years, not 20. Well, his career was 22 years, but 20 years of Tom Brady rolled into one game. I just think.
Yeah. And I think it reminded people that he's the greatest to ever do it. I mean, you don't come
Yeah.
back from 28-3 and
I
win.
mean, yeah, so much went into
this.
this game, too. I mean, Matt Ryan stole the MVP from Tom Brady that year, too. Down 20-3 with 9 minutes left. They're down 21, I believe, nothing or 21-3 at the half, too.
Yeah.
That whole stadium, I was there, was just completely done for it. Everyone was very devastated, and then it maybe became the loudest place I'd ever heard of 2 quarters later. But just an incredible game. James White came in, too.
Shout out
Carried
that
the
catch
back
from
line.
Julian Edelman, that incredible bobbling, tumbling catch.
The incredible Julian Edelman
Yeah.
catch, too. We sacked Matt Ryan, got a fumble off of him as well. Just a true Patriots game, and nothing captured better than this game. It has to be
So
1.
we're doing 1.
I think
Yeah.
1.
So we got
Number
1, 2, and 4 right now.
Ooh, 2011 Bruins. Yeah. I mean,
I'm like, we're between 3 and 5. This
I
is the
know, it's a
last time
tough-
they've won a Stanley Cup.
it's the only time
and-
they've won a Stanley Cup since 1972.
Yeah. So, I
3.
mean, for Boston hockey, I
Yeah.
can see it at 3, but it's the same level as the Celtics winning a championship,
Yeah,
I feel like. So,
I feel I love the Bruins, but got to put them at 5.
thinking 5.
Yeah, it might be a 5,
right.
unfortunately.
Let's see what our number 3 is. Yeah, 2004
Okay.
Red Sox.
Yeah,
That's
4
a
days
much
in
better.
October. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's a much
honestly,
better number.
Broke the
3.
curse, too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad if we flip flop that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they're the first ever team to win from 3-0
Down in the
deficit. I
ALCS,
forget,
yeah.
but yeah, of course, against the Yankees, of
Yeah.
course. You know, I
Don't
have
let
to
us get
mention
one.
That was a famous line in that documentary. So I'm happy with that at 3. I like our list.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
Right.
also, I think the hard part that we saw about this list is, it's Boston sports. They just win so many championships. We named
Right.
5 championship teams right here.
Yeah.
One had to go at 5, one had to go at 1. So I think we made a pretty good list.
I
I
like
agree.
that
I
list.
think we did. Yeah.
All right. To wrap up this show, we're going to do somewhat of a little bit of a story time. We're going to talk about our best moments in Boston sports as a whole. So if anybody has been to Boston, anybody want to share some stories or?
I mean, I can start off. I mean,
yeah.
I used to live in the Boston area, now live a little bit further out in Cape Cod, but I still, find my way to integrate myself back in. I mean, I had a great time at this last championship parade for the Celtics back in 2024. We had just beaten the Mavericks in 5 games, beat Luka, beat Kyrie too, who had just left us a couple years before as well. So just being able to go out there with all my friends, see that banner not only get held up at TD Garden the next year, but just to be there for the parade, see all the drunk idiots in Boston as well, hanging on the light posts and whatnot, just really capture what it meant to be a Boston fan a few years ago. And it was just really cool to be a part of. And hopefully we get back soon.
Yeah, I will say I've been to Fenway Park about 3 or 4 times now, and it's been great. I love Fenway Park. I just love the atmosphere of the whole stadium, and yeah, it's a great experience. I've gone up on the Green Monster before, signed the wall. That was a fun day. I made a case for why Boston's the best sports city, and it's just this city wins championships. I mean, you've got 13 rings this century. Every team has won. It's the only city where each team has won twice in their history. You've got with a team in each sport. and LA's second with 12 this century, and they have like 40 teams. Like they don't have 40, but it's like 12. It's 10 teams, and including one that's actively buying championships, and then nobody else is even 7. And as for the other cities we're talking about this week, sort of a preview, but like Philly, great fans, but the Flyers and the Sixers haven't won in like 50 years. Like, come on. New York, congratulations. One of your 10 teams is not an absolute dumpster fire, and that's the Yankees. And how many championships do they have in HDTV, right? So, and then Dallas, you've got the Cowboys and the Stars. They haven't won the century. The Cowboys haven't even been to the NFC Championship this century. And then the congratulations to the Mavericks and the Rangers for winning 2 random championships.
So any cities you left out? I mean, feel pretty passionate about everything you
I
just
mean,
said.
those are the 4 that are going to be on air this week. But
No, yeah, definitely out of the 4. Emily, you got any stories from Boston?
Honestly, I think one of the reasons why I love Boston sports is just all the history we've talked about, from civil rights movements to there's just so much history even within the city, like the Boston Harbor. And I think they also have like very good underdog moments, like the Super Bowl we talked about, and them coming back from a 3-0 loss in baseball. Like there's just so many moments where it's like everyone's like, no, they can't do it. And then out of nowhere, they just pull like these crazy moves. So I feel like Boston's so much more than just like their sports. I mean, there's just so much history. Their stadiums are all really nice. They don't have crazy stories like Pittsburgh stadiums where somehow some tragic event happens at every single game. So,
or like Philly, where you boo Santa Claus and throw snowballs at him because you didn't get O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, I've been to Boston, I think 3 days, and the time I've been to Boston, it was fun. I saw the 2 Yankees Red Sox game. I will say, be careful wearing a Yankees jersey in Boston. It does get scary. I do have to say this: the Yankees did win both games. It was when Judge and Soto started off homers back to back, and then Grisham in the next game, or in the first game, hit a ball off the wall in the 9th inning.
Oh, I remember that game.
Boston's ruthless. I will say that it is a very fast-paced city. This one time we biked everywhere because buses and stuff is too expensive, and I will say part of it is my fault. But I'm like riding my bike on a bridge, and all I hear is this loud honk, and I look behind me, and there is a semi truck right behind me, and I'm like, well, if I hit one pebble, I am going to be on that semi truck for the rest till it stops. So I'm happy that I was able to pedal fast enough. I don't think I pedaled fast enough in my life, honestly.
Yeah.
So it was a wild time in Boston. It's a very great place, and hopefully I can go back soon, but who knows what the
wear a helmet next time.
Yeah.
I forgot to wear a helmet, but I mean, I was on a plane. It was a whole thing. It was, and then I have to shout out the Bunker Hill Monument. My friend wanted me to say this, and I don't know if I agree with this, to put an elevator in it. I think the experience is to actually walk up the whole thing, and then, which I will say, walking down is worse than walking up.
Oh yeah,
because it just is. So, sadly, that is all the time we have today. That is going to do it for this special episode of 360 Sports. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, as in the rest of the week, 5:50 to 6:30. You know the time, you know the place.
City champions.
Yep.